everybody. Welcome to our new day of the conference, which will be day 3 of the We Grow Together Dialogue Conference. Today, we have something very special for you. We have 3 of our youngsters, living legends, here in the studio today that are going to tell you all about their amazing stories and how to begin living the dream. So I would like to introduce you all to our first 2 living legends of the day, Alphonse. Hi, Alphonse.
Hey, how are
And
you?
Laura.
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you very much for being here today. And thank you for making the time to tell us all about your story.
Thank you for inviting us.
So the floor is yours.
Fonzie, will you take it on?
Yeah, okay, I'll start. Even though it should be ladies first, though. So, basically, as at least my journey started was through an NGO back in Albania, where I was invited to be part of it, and suddenly, without realizing that would be, let's say, the whole life-changing step for me, since I got to become a team leader of a great team from Albania, which participated in the Erasmus projects, starting with the youth exchange, and later on with some dialogue conferences, where me as a team leader, let's say, to them, even though we were like a group without a leader, even though I was the responsible one for some times, and we had a really good cooperation with each other. And I mean, the power of the youngsters, what they can do and what can they achieve is like really great and amazing, since they are full with ideas. I mean, out of nowhere they will just pop up with a great idea, but with a great idea comes also sometimes a great responsibility, which you have to develop it and not be just a dream or an idea, as it usually is actually. So I mean, with my knowledge and at least my experience which I had during the years, I would assist these youngsters as much as I can. But I have to mention the main factor who supports these youngsters, which is the president of our NGO and the coordinator. They both do an amazing job behind the curtain, let's say on backstage, which people barely know, but they work, let's say, the full day on these activities and trying to find new projects for youngsters, not only Erasmus ones, but we try also to organize local activities which youngsters outside uh, local, let's say outside our city, would know what we do, and they would just feel free to participate, which apparently this was a huge hit, let's say, last year. Even though it was due COVID situation and restrictions, we were not able to make a face-to-face conference with every participant. We had an online one, but the interest was very high. I mean, basically the whole Albania was signed up for this conference. Hello, bro, I see you too. And so, I mean, I was stunned actually, to be honest, because back in my generation, the youngsters did not had as much ideas as the actual youngsters have. It's not that I'm old, but I mean from when I was in their age. And I mean, even though they do not get profit anything from it, they're just very happy to work on it. They want to invest time rather than invest, let's say, money in the first place. Even though that the budget is an important part when you have a great idea, if you want to make it just take another step further. So basically, we started the Yeah Hub, which is another space that we have in our city, and this came out as an idea from the first youth exchange that we had. We just came here, and our team was like, I don't know how, but they were just like full of ideas, and they were just not shutting up. They were just always talking, throwing ideas on paper. They were like, okay, I might forget this one, so I'm gonna go now and put it on paper, and maybe hopefully when we go back to Albania, would be, let's say, easy for us to realize it. Uh, I'm gonna go back to your questions, Ivan, in the 5 seconds. So the Year Hub that we have right now, which is a space for students and youngsters to hang out, to communicate with each other, to work, share knowledge, gather knowledge. It was, let's say, super random made from us, meaning six volunteers from our team, from our NGO, volunteer that we spend, let's say, a whole month every single weekend working the whole day on that room, which we painted it by ourselves, even though we are not experienced in it, and we just made some other paintings through the painted wall. And at the end, this space was highly used by students that were near the Austrian school, which is in our city still. And that was, as I was saying, that was an outcome from the first conference. From the first youth exchange, and that tradition, let's say, kept carrying on through the years. Which every single youngsters that came to the conference, it was like an eye opener for everyone, and they just came back to Albania with amazing ideas, which they just were so, let's say, hungry to implement them. So, Ivan, now I am 25 years old. I mean, in July I became 25 years old, and for me as a young boy growing in Albania, it was, let's say, okay. I mean, I think it was pretty comfortable, let's say, because I grew up in a family which did not, nothing was missing for me. I mean, they provided for me everything, and they gave me, let's say, the basics, which they invested in me also growing up and having a good education, which this led to the person I became today. And I mean, I had the possibility to chase also my hobbies, even though it was not that easy, because let's say I'm gonna say it like this, that it's kind of corruption doing sports, but at least I can chase the other one, which I've been practicing for like 15 years now, since I was a little kid. I've been playing guitar, and now I mean, for a good time, I also worked as a guitarist in the nightlife in my city and in the capital. Thank you, Elise, for the question. And the difficulties for the young people in Albania are that, in my opinion, they should have more eye openers, like the conference was for many of the youngsters that were in my team. Uh, Even though job positions are, let's say, fewer right now since after this situation, but before they were not, let's say, as many as they were supposed to be, but there was also a misguidance to the youngsters, which they were like, they just want to become, everyone wants to become a lawyer, or everyone wants to become economics, or everyone wants to become a doctor, but at the end, many people sign, and they never finish their studies, and they just quit, and they say there's no job for me. But instead of choosing, let's say, uh, to be a lawyer, you can choose something else which you're good at, but you still have not experimented with your skills. And I think the obstacles for young people in Albania would be like that they have less possibilities to experiment with their skills or what they might want to do in their future. So because if they do not have any place where to experiment with their skills to see where they're good at, I don't think they would make a good choice in their future to choose the, let's say, a study degree to finish, which later on will just lead them to have a good job. Yeah, I think corruption can be considered as a major threat for the youth to be developed in our country because yeah, well, if two youngsters with the same skill set compete for, let's say, a volunteer job or a paid job or I don't know, any competition, and the one who has the money gets the place, that would be simply not fair. So, well, it's also like in sports. Oh, thank you, Monique, for the kind words. It would be less like in sports. I mean, there should be a fair play, you know. And if some team plays, let's say, dirty, at some point the referee might see it, but since he's corrupted, he will pretend that he didn't saw it. So, uh, and I'm gonna go back now to my storytelling of how evolved and my role in it. As I was saying, the outcome of the Hub was, I mean, it was an outcome of, let's say, a product of the first youth exchange that we had in the Netherlands in the first year, which is an incredible experience. Uh, I came as a team leader and I learned a bunch of other skills that I need, social skills also, which I need to lead a team and to be social, let's say, also with my team, not be, let's say, like the owner of a business, but to be their colleague and their leader at the same time. And also, I learned a bunch of skills, which we had a great trainer, Akbar. He's amazing, and he just shared with us so many of his knowledge. Uh, Regarding to your question, Elise, yeah, is it possible? But so, my philosophy is if you just want to do something, just go for it. I mean, for now, for myself, I am working on making, like, say, like 4 startups, and well, it's not mandatory that Albania should be my target group. I can make it worldwide. I can make it also bigger, or I can start locally, and later on, I can think of a bigger picture for my startups, for example. But I think they're, as I said before, that the youngsters here in Albania, they are missing a place where they can like experiment with their skills, so they can know what do they want to do, or they can see the possibilities that the life has to offer. So because, let's say, to be honest about it, I think that there's not only the physical life that we interact with each other, but there's also the online world, which plays a pretty big role in the business, social life, activities, everything. So basically, what we are doing right now is an online conference, which I'm very proud of to be part of the management team because COVID would not be an obstacle for us at all, and so we are still doing it and we're still going forward. So about the question that you said, Elise, is in my opinion, yeah, they can. I mean, because as far as I'm informed, the government gives us like, let's say, like a 3 to 4 month of trial period, which you can just experiment with your business. And I think in the first years, until the first year is done, you can have like lower taxes. And I think the same rules apply also if you just go for the social enterprise. And many youngsters, at least from my generation, which I'm gonna say like 25 years old people, they are just starting their own NGOs now with the goal that they want to change something in the society, and it's going pretty good actually. So I would say yes. It's just the will which is sometimes missing, or the vision in youngsters' mind. So they just say, "I want to do this," but they have no clear picture of what they want to do sometimes. My goal, thank you, Lisa, for the question. My goal, which I'm working towards, is well, working hard. And since I had been playing my instrument for like 15 years. I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna, but without leaving aside the other things that I do, meaning the my social part with and the entrepreneurship part, which I can also help youngsters, provide them as much information as I possess, and not keep it for myself, because it was also an old phenomenon that used to happen here, which, and people who knew how something was done, they would just keep it for themselves, and they would just not want that the other one to see the other one succeed maybe better than he did, because he might evolve his let's say his skill set into another level. So my social goal would be like to help, to contribute, and to, let's say, share my skills to the younger generation, so they can see the future wherever they go, even that would be Albania or outside Albania, so they can just see, let's say, see their life from another level, so thinking outside the box, and not just be, let's say, isolated in their environment or people who surround them, but they can just work also through that. I hope I just did good answering to your questions, Lisa. As I can see, I can still keep going with my storytelling of the year travel. And during the years, the year team which represented Albania in the conference may have had some minor changes, like 2 or 3 people, but it was like really good, because that was always let's say a close circle, which we invited also students from another school to join us, which made it then part of our circle. And with that circle, so which I basically knew every one of them, we talked, we held, let's say, meetings with each other, which then led us to make the workshops that lasted for months. And the last year, before COVID situation, the workshops were held in the city center, which it was, let's say, a strategical point for everyone, and every single youngster in Albania could access it in Albania. Okay, I exaggerate a little bit in that one. I mean, every single youngster in our city, which means Shkodër, could access this youth center, and I mean, it was part of the municipality, which they were so willing to cooperate in this case, because our NGO president, he made it possible. And so we held the workshops over there, and I'm pretty proud to say that we were fully booked. I mean, the rooms that we held the workshops were like full of youngsters, so at least the will in the youngsters is starting to wake up, so to do something better with their lives, and not just sit in a coffee house or sit in front of TV or laptop and just watch movies or listen to music the whole day. I mean, that is a hobby, but it's not the main job. So youngsters are improving themselves, and they come up with great ideas. And the best part of coming up with a great idea is that they do not think that they're always right. They accept critics, and they accept the others' opinion, and they just don't care if their idea, if they formed it in a bad way, their idea, because there's no such thing as a bad idea. But they just want their idea to be successful, and they just want to make it work. And so I've seen pretty huge amount of youngsters working super hard in their idea and to make it work. And if COVID wouldn't have been, let's say, a small obstacle for us this year, I think we would have had like a pretty huge competition, which would be held in Shkodër, in our city, because, as I said before, youngsters from every single part of Albania came from different cities. They just emailed us. They found it very interesting, and we found very interesting their ideas. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Uh, but as I was mentioning also before, being a youngster in Albania, I always thought that okay, if I have these kind of obstacles, what can I do? I mean, it's not that I'm gonna let myself go down because I have this, let's say, corruption as an obstacle that won't let me achieve my goal. But I was just always thinking, let's say, outside the box and thinking for the another road to go to my goal, even though the road that I took it, which would be like the right one, just going straight. That was not. Thank you, Elise, for this super kind words. Even though the road that I chose me to go just in a straight line was not possible, I thought, okay, there may be some curves on my road to my goal, but I'm still gonna go there because I mean, after all, that's all I care for, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job, working pretty hard every single day, and yeah. I think the only obstacle that the real obstacle that people have, besides the real life, is that the mindset that they just create in their minds that okay, I'm having this issue, so I'm gonna quit here, and which is that would be not good actually. But I'm seeing that this mindset is changing pretty fast in the coming up generations in Albania, and I feel real proud of it. And especially since I was working with these youngsters, and yeah, I mean, it should be that I teach them something or I help them with anything that they might need, but instead it's the complete contrary. I get inspired by them, and I think I learn most from them that they learn from me because the new generation has a really great potential. Yeah, that I think that was pretty much it. Uh, Thank you, Monique, for your question. Yeah, I think that the importance of entrepreneurship of youngsters is I think it's a great step. So because through entrepreneurship, as we learned also during the youth exchanges and the conferences, you can make great things happen. I mean, because if I have my own startup through entrepreneurship and I have also a, let's say a sister startup which we cooperate with each other, it means that that makes two of us that we work towards a common goal. But two of us have more connections, and so the network will spread and it will make us, let's say, a global family. Like for example, the best example for it would be like the One World Citizens, which we work every partner NGO which is part of it. We work all together towards goals, 17 global goals, for example. And I think we're doing a pretty amazing job because we really are, I feel myself as yeah, I think we really are the One World Citizens, and it's really a big family. So I, I think the role of the entrepreneurship in Albanian society is a must. So the youngsters should hear more about it, even though that's what we do every single day with Yeah. We just spread news everywhere we can in the schools, through the youngsters, even though I might not be, let's say, with my laptop or let's say at the office with them working. But even though when we are at the, let's say, a bar having a coffee, and when we meet youngsters, we always spread this entrepreneurial spirit to make, and we invite them to join us. So basically, it's a full-time job that never stops, but it's more fun than I ever thought it would be.
Well, thank you very much, Alphonse, for your inspiring story and your work. And I think a lot of people actually really enjoyed your talk because we had a lot of questions and you answered them.
I'm glad.
Um, so now I'm going to introduce to you the next living legend that is going to tell you about her story, which is going to be Flora. So, Flora, here you go. The stage is yours, and please enlighten us with your amazing story.
Hi guys, so I'm Flora from the Dutch team. The reason why I'm here is actually because I've been in Bosnia for my internship last year, and it was pretty much. So how did it start? So I was at school at college following some classes, and Elise came there with two other men from Iraq, and they were talking about the problems which they have, and I was asking questions the whole time, and it was like pretty interesting because they were talking about the global goals. And after that class, my teacher came up to me and he was like, "Do you want to help people? Do you want to teach some kids English skills or something else?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm interested. Like, where can I get such an internship for next year?" And so he gave me at least her contact information. He wanted to look for it first because he didn't have it, and so he contacted her, and then he gave me the email address. So I contacted her like I was interested, and then I got like one of my classmates with me because he was interested too, but in the IT part, and I was interested in the education part. So I already knew where I wanted to work on and who with who. So we went there. It was like a hub meeting at C2Me here where I live, and we joined the meeting. And there's where I met Lisa, but I didn't know she was like a part of them, and we didn't really were introduced to each other. And after that, I was like, yeah, I want to work for this organization. I saw Monique there, and then we talked about it, and they asked me about my interests, and I was like, I want to work on the education part, so please find me something. And they did a few weeks ago, a few days after, and it was Bosnia. I was like really excited. I never really heard about it before because I knew it was somewhere in Europe, but I didn't know what people were like there and which language they spoke and go on. So they sent me so they told me about one of their project there, which they were leading at some elementary school for kids till the age of 14, 15. And they were talking about this green class project. I was like, let's do it. Let's go to Bosnia and we will see. And so we went there for like 90 days. And the project was about, there was the study school. That's what it's called. And in Bosnia, they have a like little village. It's not that modern as in the capital city, which is Sarajevo. And it was there between the mountains or on the mountains. I have no idea. And the people there were so sweet, and you saw like how they gave the classes there. It was like pretty basic. If we look at the classes here in the Netherlands, they were like there was so many technology in the classrooms, and it was like I'm going back to Iraq, which I'm from. And so the project which I went to work on was the greenhouse project. And the meaning what I wanted to do is to conduct like a market research. So I want to look for, all right, what do they need? What can they sell so they can make profit, and so they can use it, so the school can use it to do some other project with it, or so they can go on the field trip. And I did it with a few other groups from the Netherlands, which were they were also from my school. So we had like a backup group in the Netherlands who did the design of the greenhouse. But what I really noticed there, they really didn't have the greenhouse which we have here in Europe. Their greenhouses were like out of like wood and plastic, and it's not usual. Thank you, Nadina. And it was like really strange because I was like, there must be a company who builds it, and there was like one company. And it was like pretty interesting because thought it's in Europe, so they have like everything, but they really didn't. And so we had to work from with people from Netherlands and with companies from the Netherlands. After the 90 days of after 90 days, I had to return back. What I did there is not only the market research, which I did it for 3 months. I also gave like classes, sales and marketing classes, to the students there. And after like few classes, they even got like their marketing certificate from the Google classes. It's like digital marketing classes, which they can take. They follow like few classes, and at the end they had to do an exam, and they got their certificates. It's like professional ones, so you can go, you can take them and go to a company, and you can just tell them like, I got it. And it's like something huge for a kid who's like just 13, 14. So we did that, and after that I returned to Netherlands with the hope that I would come back after 6 months. Unfortunately, we didn't. I couldn't because of the COVID situation. So after looking at the budget and the market research, I was thinking like, can we do it? And can we build the greenhouse outside the school? And can we put like everything we have here in the Netherlands? Can we put it also there? Is there the knowledge for it? I'm still thinking about it, and because it will be costing like a lot of money, like around 8,000 euros or even more. So we are thinking about it together, and it's on hold for now. I'm still thinking about it. Maybe I will get like more ideas to make it simple and to finish actually next year. How did the 3 months in Bosnia change or influence your life? It did. It influenced my life so much. I went there, and it was like I'm going back to Iraq. The hospitality there was so great. It's not like here in Europe. Here in Europe, it's like they are much on their self. They are like individuals. And in Bosnia, the hospitality was so great. You felt like you were home. And so I miss home, but not like home in the Netherlands, but home in Iraq. So it was so great. I couldn't find my rest, and people there are not like, here's a project you have to finish like in 1 week. They were like more relaxed, and I couldn't take it because I'm not used to it. But when I got here, it was like I really missed it. I went like downhills when I came here because I couldn't find my rest anymore, and I had to actually change myself a bit because I'm always working and always doing something, and there I wasn't really doing that much. So yeah, that's actually like yeah, that's the story actually. Are there any questions? Yes, we will support it. We will support it, and we will finish it. So we will come there. If not next year, then the year after, but we will finish it for real. I'm also wanting to thank Nadina, who helped me like in the whole process, and yeah, she's still helping me actually. But and also Valida and the whole Bosnian team. My biggest learnings from internship. It was actually, I was studying international business studies, and I also finished it. But after that, I was like, I'm not commercial type. I'm actually social work type. So it influenced me by choosing social work as following up degree instead of something commercial. And that's what changed. I chose like social work, and I wanted to stay working with one world citizens as a part of my growth. I made like many I make many friends, like everyone which was at the conference last year. like I met like it was like I was friends with like the people which I worked with in Sarajevo, which were from it was like from a politic party. So yeah, we were there like 4 days a week with each other, and they taught me how to find things there and what to eat. It's when you also want to help people. My motivation to help people is I don't really know where it comes from, but I'm always wanting to help people. Like if there is anything people know, they can ask me, and I will do it instantly. But I always want to help people from outside Europe or somewhere in this world. But in the Netherlands, we have such a programs, but you have to pay for it, which is kind of weird because you wanting to help people. Why would you pay to go there? Why would you pay to stay there? So it's actually logic too. But I wanted to do something, but I didn't have no idea how to do it. And when then the chance from One World Citizens came, I was like, let's take it with both of my hands, because it was like great chance, and they really settled everything down. We looked together for a house for me to stay there. We looked for the internship together, and they hold my hand like the whole time, that they didn't leave me there. So this is why, like, working with such an organization is like, it's like a dream for everyone who wants to help people. Which Bosnian food do you like the most? It's the chuvapi and the burek. Chuvapi is like meat with like some, I have no idea, but it's like really tasteful. It's like so little meat pieces, and you have to put it in special bread, which is called somun, and you can drink it with ayran, with yogurt, and it's really tasteful. And the other one was the burek, which was introduced by my colleagues at the office in Sarajevo, and it was so tasty. It was like it's like pastry with veggies in it, or meat, or yeah, it was like delicious. You have to, if you go there, please try it. It's really delicious. I will, for sure. There is like a lot of years. I have like a lot of years to go, so I will go and help them. I don't really need to inspire people, but I'm here to help. I don't need to speak about it that much. I'm only doing for doing things, not talk about them. But thank you. I'll keep inspired people who can work with. Kind of projects. So actually, I'm a part of the conference management team. On the other hand, the greenhouse project, but is now on hold. What kind of other projects? The We Grow Hub, kind of. It's whenever they ask me, I'm there. It's not like I don't have that much projects going on because of I just started like my second degree, and yeah, there is much to do, but I'm willing to take like more projects, but also to finish them, because I really want to finish my first project before I take another big project too. So yeah, if they ask me, I will take it. I will take it with a big smile. So yeah, I hope that I have informed you well. If there are any questions, you can always text me or just hit me up.
Judith. Hi, Flora. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for everything. Oh, there's one more question for you, actually. Here it comes.
Yeah. what is your dream for the coming 2-3 years? So I want to finish my school first, but I have to do my internship again. I'm doing it with One World Citizens, I think. Not sure yet though. But I want to help people too. I have no idea how yet, but we will speak with each other and we will see. But after that, I want to go. Yeah, I want to work as a police officer, to be honest. So we will see where we'll be ending.
We have one more comment from
Hopefully you will visit us. I will after COVID, for real. I will. I will visit Bosnia again.
Well, thank you very much, Flora, for being here, and thank you very much for sharing your story. So we're going to go to our next and final living legend of the day, our youngster, which is going to be Velida, and she's from Bosnia, and she's going to tell us all about her story as well. And here she comes. So welcome, Velida, to the studio.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Velida, and I am from Bosnia, and I'm really happy that I get the chance to share my story with you. So I'll start from the point where I met with the One World Citizens for the first time. It was actually in my primary school. I was around 14 or 15 years old. Don't get me there. Basically, Monique with her team visited our school, and we had some workshops there, and I was really interested in the things they were presenting to us, things they wanted to do. And actually, that was the first time when the Green Classroom project was announced to us. We were the first generation at that school who worked on that project. I remember we were at the workshop and we're about to, we were actually just presenting how do we want that classroom to look like, what do we need. I remember our team was very creative and decided that they wanted to have lazy bags in that classroom, for example. But since I was the senior at primary school and soon after I left the school, I was no longer a part of that project because that project was related to the students in that school. So younger generations actually continued working on it, and I'm really proud of it. And today it's still going on. Flora is working with them now. They're also having a green classroom project going, and I'm really excited. But after I left my primary school, my involvement in One World Citizens actually decreased, but I was still in touch with Monique, and we met every time she comes to Bosnia. We would meet, at least grab a cup of coffee or something and just share what are we up to. And during that period, I actually got a chance to tell her what I was doing meanwhile. So what I was doing was actually being more involved in ICT. Actually, those were the first steps of me being in ICT. At the end of my primary school, I joined this wonderful training organized by IT Girls. IT Girls is actually a wonderful community who inspire young girls and women to be involved in ICT world and who work on their gender equalities. So I joined and I wanted to see, okay, what do they have to offer? And I was amazed with that world, hearing other stories really touched me, because for this training, for example, I was pushed by my male best friend and by my male professor. They told me, okay, you have to go, Velida, you have to experience it, you can do it. But when I got there, other stories were different. Basically, they were talking about how they're being pushed away from that world, from the ICT world, how they're just girls, they should be pretty, they should know what their job is, they don't have a place in the ICT world. So I was like, okay, this needs to be changed. That's why I decided to continue working on it and continue supporting every project that was encouraging young girls, young women to be involved, to fight for their rights, to be actually to express themselves, you know. After hearing those stories, I decided I will definitely be more involved. I will definitely search about more facts when it comes to girls being taken for granted in general. That comes to that actually leads me to being a part of other project with those girls, IT girls, such as Girls in ICT Day in 2017, where we actually got a big support from the UN House. Actually, we got the support from UN House for all of these projects because IT girls are a part of them. So big people from that department supported us, which was a great honor. We also had some panel discussions about women in digital world. We got a chance to actually be inspired by a successful women in the digital world. We also had Girls in ICT Day 2019. Same thing. And by the end of until the last project we've done, we've actually attracted more girls and young women. I actually got a chance. To involve some of my friends in this as well, and we had so much fun. So as I was saying, every time Monique would come to Bosnia, we would meet and we would share what we've been up to. So she heard that I've been active when it comes to ICT and girls in ICT in general. So in August 2019, she decided to invite me to the Dialogue for Inclusion conference. And I was honestly really excited, and I couldn't wait to come there to meet people from different countries, to share knowledge, to work on the global goals. I was also given an opportunity to be a moderator about the girls in ICT and gender equality when it comes to global goals in both days of the conference, and that pushed me to discover my leadership side because I didn't know that I actually have it. So I was like, okay, it's time to be more involved, to take the lead, to inspire, and to continue doing what I was doing already, but just on another level. After the conference of 2020, where I met wonderful people and had an amazing experience, I got a chance to be more involved with IT Girls projects. But I decided that I don't want to go just in one direction. Like, for example, if you were listening, all I talked was about girls in ICT, gender equality. And I'm not the type of a person who just wants to work on another thing and have a straight line in their lives. I am sure that I will be a person who will be doing 10 different jobs for the rest of my life. And I'm okay with it because I like the mixture of everything and I like learning new things. So that is why I decided to offer my help when it comes to this online conference in 2020, but I offered my help just like, if you need something, I'm here. I never imagined that I will be where I am right now, which is the organization team of this dialogue conference for 2020. Unfortunately, it's online, but still, as the youngest member of this organization team, I had a blast working on it. I would do all over it again, and I'm definitely planning on staying in this. And just I'm planning to keep working on my leadership skills, keep working on the global goals, because as I said, I don't want to go in just one direction. For example, this year I am leading a co-creation table about quality education. So it's something different. It's not gender equality related. And I'm excited. I'm really inspired by One World Citizens and by the amazing stories and projects that everyone shares. And I just hope that we will achieve what we have in our minds. Oh, thank you very much. I will try my best to keep growing. How can others follow my great example? I think it's all about the individual mindset, because if you become aware, and if you actually just want to know, and if you're want to be informed about certain things, I think that involvement comes with it, because I wanted to be more informed and I worked on it, and all of those informations and aspiring people helped me uh, to follow their steps, but be unique.
Thank you very much, Valida. It was a great story. I love the fact that you're working with women and girls and trying to empower them in any way you possibly can. You certainly did with me, because I've known you for, I think, only 2 years now, but
Actually, 1 year only.
1 year. Oh, see, see what I mean? But both you and Flora, I've only known you for a year, but you keep on inspiring me, and I'm so grateful that you wanted to help organize this whole thing, because I couldn't have done it without you guys. So I'm now inviting Flora and Alphonse back in the studio. Hello, welcome back, Flora. Welcome back, Alphonse.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here today. You have inspired us all with your beautiful stories. And I think I speak for all of us when I say I really want to thank you for it, because it's been a great experience working together so closely. And I think everybody will love to do that as well. So thank you very much. Are there any more things you would like to add regarding your work with the conference management team? Any of you? Maybe tell us about your experience working together in the international team to make the conference happen.
Yeah, I think everybody can hear me, right? So it was amazing actually, because we're working so hard, and it was also really challenging, because since I'm traveling every weekend at the beginning of the week through two cities, I mean from Shkodër, my city, and from capital of Albania, which where I work. It was really challenging, but it was like okay, I have to catch like the next cab to go back, and so I can catch the meeting and be on time, even though I was sometimes with delay, which everybody knows. So it was really challenging. As I said, it was a beautiful experience, amazing working with an amazing crew. It's like a dream team, you know. So thank you for everyone. So.
Flora, do you want to add something?
About the conference team? It's so energetic crew, and we have you as a leader this year, and it's such an honor to work like with a young person who had led to this something big. And you're like as our mom, like leading everything and taking everything on your own fork, but you're doing great job. The same for Fonzie, Elise, Falida, everyone who in the conference team. You really did like a great job, and you, for real. Now I want to do it like even more, like more than after this. I want to do it again and again. So thank you for everyone who joined us and everyone who created this.
Alida, do you have anything to add to the inspiring words of Flora and Alphonse?
I would just like to say that I wouldn't change this team for anything, because if there was a different setup of the crew, there would be definitely different energy, and I think it just wouldn't be the same like with you guys. So I will definitely, I definitely want to keep on working on this, and yeah, that's it.
Well, Monique, of course I can. I'm telling you guys about it on Saturday as well during the closing of the conference. But what I can tell you right now is that we're keeping this team together to create, or we're trying. I haven't formally asked them, so this is my first formal question actually to the team. And we're going to try to do this every year online just to keep up a little bit and keep in touch. And I feel very confident about it because I think the team has been working very hard and the results so far is beautiful. So I can't wait to keep up the work and keep up working with these amazing people because they inspire me so much, and it's really great to get together every week and create something as beautiful as this conference is. So thank you very much, of course, also Alphonse, Falida, and Flora for being there, and Alice, Mohammed, Khalid, thank you very much as well, because it has been very liberating and empowering for me to work together with a crew that works so hard, and I can't wait to do the next one and the one after that and the one after that, because it has been an amazing journey so far. So thank you all very much for doing that. Are there any more questions from the people watching to any of us about whatever you want to ask? Because I think the seminar itself has been very inspiring and very informative as well. And I really want to thank all of them again for being here and telling their amazing stories, to inspire us and to get together to work even harder to make the next couple of years amazing. Wait, I have a comment from of course, so far the operations will start, which will be our working part of the conference, and I'm really excited about all of the tables and all of the people who are leading the tables. And I think a lot of the people that joined our introduction to co-creation got really inspired by hearing from everybody about their backstory. And of course, we would love to invite everyone who's watching who is not registered yet to do it, because the co-creation tables are going to be amazing. We have some people from the management team. We have some old guests from the We Grow Together conferences in the Netherlands. We have some living legends that are going to join us. So we can't wait to invite you to see you tomorrow during co-creation. So thank you very much. And of course, we were happy to do it. So thank you very much for watching. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow during co-creation and tonight during our social activities, which is going to be a cooking class and a dancing class. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Flora. Thank you, Valida. And thank you, Alphonse, for being here. And thank you all for watching once again. Thank you, Monique, for your kind words and your questions. And we would love to see you all later this week during co-creation and eventually our saying goodbye party, which we're of course going to do this year. Even though it's going to be online, we're still going to do it. So thank you all for watching, and we'll hope to see you very, very, very soon.